Welcome to the Beyond Ordinary Woman podcast. Every 2 weeks, we'll post a podcast version of one of our free training videos, but you can access them now at beyondordinarywomen.org. This episode or series includes downloadable information on our website, beyondordinarywomen.org. Go to Resources on the main menu and click on Podcast/Video Extras. Enjoy the podcast.
Welcome. I'm Kelley Mathews, and I am with Beyond Ordinary Women Ministries, and I am here with Donna Skell from Roaring Lambs Ministries. This is part 2 of 3 sessions that we are having on evangelism and sharing your faith story. So let me jump into, we've already covered why we should tell our story. So go to session 1 for that. But who are we telling and when? So it's a little more in-depth here of when we start to tell the story of our experience with the Lord. So how do you identify the opportunity to tell someone your story?
I think you have to be looking for that opportunity. I think there are numerous opportunities all day long to just talk about God, to bring up God in a conversation, to say, God bless you, to say, hope you have a great day today. You know, just to be able to talk to people and connect with them and get them to kind of share with you something in conversation.
So if I'm on an airplane, I mean, you hear the stories of, okay, I have this captive audience. Is it something you'd recommend to just kind of corner the person and go, I have something to tell you? Or is, I assume you want to make it a little more natural.
Yes, of course. Yeah. There's a lot of questions that you can ask someone. Mm-hmm. You can ask them about their hobbies. You can ask them about their families. You can ask them about their day. You can ask them how they spend their daytime hours. And in conversation, you find common ground with someone. Mm-hmm. I always try to see if I can get someone to mention an emotion, especially. Okay. Because if they say, I'm happy, I'm glad, I'm sad, some kind of emotion, I can ask more questions.
So that's a connecting point.
It is.
Okay. So emotion.
And then since we all experience the same emotions, I could lead into, I understand exactly how you feel. Because I felt the same way once. Can I tell you what I found? Mm-hmm. And so using just feel, felt, found to relate to someone and to branch over into what you found and how you found God helped you through that emotional crisis or whatever it was.
So you're finding common ground with someone and you're connecting with their emotions. Are there any other connecting points? I'm just trying to think of situations. Even if I've sort of memorized my story or gotten really familiar with it, appropriate times? I mean, are there any times that are really inappropriate to get into that?
Well, in this world, they would like to say it's not politically correct very often. But, as Christians, I think that we should influence culture instead of letting culture influence us. So I don't know if there's a wrong time. If you have a few minutes and you have the opportunity, you don't dump your whole life story. A testimony is not a life story, and it's not an opportunity to promote a church or a ministry or a book. It's just being able to show how real Jesus is in your life. And there's lots of ways and opportunities that you could say, I don't know how I would have gotten through that day without God in my life. He just encouraged me. He showed me some truth that I hadn't realized. He was there with me, and I could feel His Holy Spirit.
Okay, so from what I'm getting, don't use really high Bible language, churchy words, those sorts of things. Try to avoid some of that.
Yeah, we call it Christianese.
Yeah.
You've got to speak their language.
Okay.
And you've got to start secular. I don't think it's right to just start talking about Jesus right off the bat. You've got to start, like you said, on a secular note, connect with them about family or about work or about hobbies, and then you'll find the opening. If you're looking for the opening, I believe that God will give you the opening, and if you're looking for it, you'll hear it.
Okay. So we hear a lot today that this world is very spiritual. Now, they're not necessarily Christian, but people are more open maybe than they used to be about talking about spiritual things. So that kind of, like you say, be on the lookout for it and be waiting, kind of go, I think I found a connecting point here.
Yeah.
You know, they're looking for something spiritual. Well, I can help them with that.
Yeah, or I sense that you're a spiritual person. Tell me about that.
So asking them questions.
Asking questions is a key.
So we all like to talk about ourselves, so maybe that's the trick, is to get them talking, you know, and show interest in them.
Or even asking about their childhood, because in the childhood they'll usually talk about whether they went to church or not and how they grew up.
Okay. Have you traveled the country, Annie, or is this particular to a certain area that people are open to this, or more open? Do you know?
Well, I grew up in New England, and it was a very closed environment.
Yeah.
People weren't talking about the Lord as much as they do here in Dallas or in the South. It seems to be more comfortable to talk about faith-based things. But, you know, God's everywhere, and people are everywhere, and they have the same needs. Everybody has needs, you know, whether it's a need for identity, a need for security, a need for acceptance. And when you talk to someone, you can usually sense what their need is. And that's when you can really share that you have that same need. And here's how that need got met.
So common ground is really your best. You know, we're all human. We've all had similar things and experiences. And even if our lives are fairly different, there's probably going to be some crossover point. So I think what I would take away from this is, you're not pushing Jesus on anyone. Right. You're not telling them the 4 spiritual laws or reading the Romans Road or anything straight out of the Bible, which might be intimidating to some people, but you're connecting with them just as a person and seeing, hey, we are alike in certain ways, and this is how I experienced it, and God was part of that. Is that fair?
Exactly. And you can even ask a question. Can I tell you what happened to me? Can I tell you what I found? And when you ask that and they give you permission, then it's easier to go on and to go deeper.
I think permission's huge. I think that's a great point. We're going to talk a little bit more about technicalities and kind of how we put this message together, but that's in the next session. To learn more about Donna, she has a bio on our website, beyondordinarywomen.org. She also has information there and a link to her workbook that Roaring Lambs has put together that will help you fashion your story. So thanks very much for being here.
Thank you, Kelley.
Thanks for listening to the Beyond Ordinary Women podcast. You can find more podcasts and information about women in leadership by going to beyondordinarywomen.org. This podcast was produced by Beyond Ordinary Women Ministries. Our production team includes Evelyn Babcock, Kay Daigle, Kay Halligan, Deborah Herring, Sharifa Stevens, and John Sparks. Theme music, Back in Stride by Don Miller, used by courtesy of Christine Miller.